Okay, I'm going to do a quick demo of a couple of the Java challenges. So the first one I'm going to look at is number 9, Olympic values. Asks the user to name one of these, and then if they correctly name one, so it checks whether it's right or not, it outputs that correct, that's correct. Otherwise, it says try again and continues until they get one correct. So let's have a look at that. So the three values are respect, excellence, and friendship. So the first thing I'm going to do is define those, I think, at the very top of my program, because I'm going to be using those a bit. So let's make a new class. I think it was step 6, step 9. Step 9, I'll make sure it's got a main method because I'm going to be using that for now. Okay, so at the very top of my program, I'm just going to put these, so I'm going to copy those a couple of times. I guess I don't need to define strings. I can just use them as inside quotes for now. Right, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have a keyboard. So I'm going to ask him to type stuff in. So I need to import scanner, which is .util.scanner, the very start. So that should, spell it right. So that should allow me to use a scanner. Goes new scanner system.in. Okay. Alright, now I've got my scanner. I'm going to need a loop because it says here that I have to keep on repeating until I've got one of them correct. I don't know how many times I'm going to repeat, so I'm going to use a while loop for that. For now, I'm just going to write while true. While true, and that's my loop, but I'm going to replace that with a condition in a minute. So I'm going to say string answer equals keyboard dot next line, which will allow them to type something in, and of course I've got to give them a prompt. So I'm going to say please type a value, type an Olympic value. Okay, now they type it in, and now I've got to check whether it's equal to any of those three: respect, excellence, or friendship. The way I'm going to do that is with an if-else loop, or if-else-if loop. So if the first question is if my string is answer dot equals, and inside that I'm going to put the first one, which is respect. Remember, that's got a capital R, so you've got to type it with a capital R to be equal to that. Alright, so if it's equal to that, or again I'm gonna say answer dot equals, and then the second one is excellence. Give myself a bit of space here. Equals excellence, and again the double vertical line, which means or, answer equals, and the last one is friendship. So I'm going to put that within a string as well, paste it in there. Alright, and what I do is open a curly bracket, and then I'm going to close a curly bracket afterwards. So whoops, let me just zoom out a tiny bit. So if they got it correct, this is what I do. So I don't need an else if there at all. I can just use a logical or. I could have said if answer equals respect, whatever, do something, and then else if answer equals excellent, else if answer equals friendship, but I can just summarize it with an or there. So if it's equal to any of those three things, I can just say well done to them because they got it correct. Now else, so if they didn't get it correct, put my curly brackets in there. I've got to tell them sorry, not correct. Alright, would you like to try again? would you like to try again, question mark. And if they do that, I'm going to need to input an answer from them. So I'm going to say keyboard and give it a variable string. I've already got a variable there called answer, so I can use that again. So I can say answer equals keyboard dot next line, which will get the answer from them. Keyboard, spell it right. And I've got to check whether they say yes or no. I might as well give them a prompt. I can either say Y or N there, so they know what to type in. So I can say if answer dot equals Y. Now in case they ask something, in case they answer Y with a small y instead of a big Y, I can say ignore case. So equals ignore case. So if that happens, then what I'm going to do is remember this condition up here, this true. I'm going to make a variable for that. I'm going to say continuing equals true. All right, and then inside here I can just say while continuing equals true. I've got to spell that right. C-O-N-T-I-N-U-I-N-E. What's wrong with that? Continuing. Make sure that's correct there. Both the same. Right? If continuing equals true, so at the very first time through, continuing is going to be equal to true. So that is, the loop is going to execute. But if they answer yes, then nothing changes. But if they answer no, that means they don't want to continue, then continuing equals false, which means it will drop out. And also equally, if they got it correct, then you don't want them to have to do it again. So I'm going to say there continuing equals false as well, so it will drop out of that loop. Now I have to give continuing a type. Obviously it's a Boolean variable, so it goes in, it makes a new keyboard, it sets the continuing loop, a variable that I'm going to base my loop on, continuing, to be true. So it's going to continue while that is true. So it does it the first time. It asks for an Olympic value. One thing that's okay. Asks for an Olympic value, checks whether it's one of these three. If they got it correct, it says well done and sets the variable so it drops out of the loop. Otherwise, it says sorry, not correct, and asks them if they'd like to try again. And as long as they don't say no, nothing will change. But if they say no, it'll say continue equal false. So it should drop out of the loop. Let's give it a try. Please type an Olympic value. So if I type patience, sorry, not correct, would you like to try again? Yes. This time let's go for excellence. Well done, and it stops. If I run it and I get it wrong the first time, and it asks me if I do want to continue, I'm going to say no, and again it stops. What I might as well just put a little printout at the end. Thank you for using whatever. Okay, or end of program. Just so that you can see below that it's actually stopped. All right, so that's how I would do it. A couple of things to be careful of. A couple of new things. That's a logical OR. So I can say if answer equals respect, or answer equals excellence, or answer equals friendship. A lot of people just say if answer equals respect or excellence or friendship, but that's not actually, that doesn't work. You have to mention the whole condition, which includes the variable name. Another thing which people do sometimes is they don't use equals ignore case, which means you'd have to type in respect with a capital R if you want that to ignore the case on it, so it allows you to type it in anyway. Then you say equals ignore case. And one last thing, if you want to look a lot neater, it's not quite often I would format it like this. Hang on. I would maybe do this, so it's a lot easier to see. So you can read that straight off if answer equals that or that or that. And that's it.